Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Movie Mortis, where Movie Madness lives. My name is Nick.
And I'm Drew.
And today we are going to be talking about the 2018 horror action movie Overlord. And we are not talking about the Japanese light novel series Overlord. Sorry to all of our anime fans in this audience. Anyways, this movie is an alternate history movie that takes place in World War II. It follows a group of American soldiers who have to stop a radio tower so D-Day can be successful, but unfortunately find some very disturbing Nazi experiments. Drew,
A World War II movie on the Movie Mortis podcast. I did not see that coming. Come on, man, that pun is too good to pass up.
don't make me hit you
Yeah,
with a
so
lure. I tried.
so
So you
anyways,
wanted the
so yeah,
floor?
viewers, this is
What? I just said you wanted the floor. Hang on, what was that a reference to?
yeah, I anyways, Overlord.
Yes,
So
get this
yes,
Overlord.
Overlord is so yes, like what Nick said, Overlord is a 2018 horror action movie. Oh my god, produced by J.J. Abrams and
Yeah.
directed by Julius something. Hold on.
Julius, I think it's written. Yeah, hang on, I think it's written by a guy named Ryan. I think I remember. Oh, no, it's Billy Ray, not Ryan. Okay, I don't know why I said Ryan. I swear it's Billy Ray and Mark L. Smith. I don't know why I said Ryan. I think it's because they both begin with R. This film also serves as the first R-rated movie by Bad Robot Pictures, J.J. Abrams' company. Yeah, and I don't know if they
Yep.
produced any other R-rated movies after that. Maybe one of the Cloverfield movies are R-rated. But speaking of Cloverfield, did you know that there were several rumors that this was actually supposed to be a Cloverfield sequel?
Nope.
Yeah, I never saw Cloverfield, but I don't know what to say about that. Anyways,
This movie was directed by Julius Avery and written by here all cast and crew. So it was written from a screenplay by Billy Ray and Mark L. Smith.
yes,
So there you
yeah. General thoughts. This movie was freaking awesome.
I agree. This is basically so for the viewers who have not seen this movie, one, you should go see this movie. For the viewers who haven't seen this, it's just kind of like a movie version of something like the
Wolfenstein.
early Wolfenstein games or I guess Resident Evil.
Yeah,
I think more Wolfenstein personally.
this yeah, I understand the Wolfenstein comparisons, but to me personally, this felt more like a World War II version of Resident Evil. And what really made me go Resident Evil is okay. Hear me out. In the first game, the protagonists began like being deployed from a helicopter, but in this case, they were skydiving, and it wasn't a mansion. But there's one specific character that made me think, okay, this guy is just a Nazi version of Albert Wesker, and it was Wayfin, the doctor, who was conducting all the experiments. Also the
Yeah.
virus, also the zombie virus gives you like superhuman mutant abilities too. So that's where I get the
Well,
Resident
this
Evil
one,
comparisons from.
yeah. All right. Well, because like, I say more Wolfenstein because it's like it's about the Nazis developing like super soldiers,
Yeah.
for them. Because that's a big part of the Wolfenstein series is that they having is the Nazis having all this crazy science stuff and
Mm-hmm.
that gives them like superhuman abilities and stuff. And to be fair, some of this is based on real history
Mm-hmm.
because for those of you that know anything about World War II, the Nazis were really, really into weird science stuff. They conducted all these sorts of horrifying experiments at the concentration camps and at various prisons and stuff.
Yeah.
And so they were so this is all like sort of pulling from real history to a degree.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. Yeah. I definitely remember that. It's part of that. That is part of history. The Nazis conducted some really, really disgusting experiments.
Yes. We will not go into detail about them because they're awful. But
No, we will not.
um, yeah. But
But
so
anyways,
the first thing I want to talk about, the first thing I want to talk about with this movie outside of the super soldier stuff is, I like how like the first like 30 minutes or so is more of like a traditional war movie. Like it
oh
starts
yeah.
off with the paratroopers in the planes as they're going on D-Day. And so and the par- and so you know, you see all the squad in the plane at the beginning, and they're
Hmm.
talking shit to each other like soldiers
Yeah.
tend to do.
Banter.
And then yeah, the banter, and then they get hit with German AA fire, anti-aircraft fire, just like what happened in the real D-Day. They had to make their jump early before they were supposed to, and they got
Hmm.
stuck behind enemy lines. Um,
Hmm.
but uh, but so this one ends up taking more of for this particular squad. This there it takes up more of a horrific turn, if that makes sense.
Yes,
So more
very
horrific
horrific.
than what normal war movies would do, anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, very horrific. Because like it's not just the zombies you're dealing with. Like it's just like hang on, it's I gotta count real quickly. There's Corporal, Tippett, Chase, Boyce. I think wasn't there a fifth? Was there a fifth one as well?
Rosenfeld, I believe, was the fifth
Yeah,
one. He's the one that Boyce finds in the lab.
yeah, Rosenfeld. Yeah. So so yeah. It's five American soldiers in Nazi territory, and the only refuge they have is a house where that's a Nazi occupied village where they're conducting experiments nearby. So it's like they're outnumbered. They are freaking outnumbered.
Yeah, and I like those scenes when the I forget the Nazi commander's name, but I like the ones that he comes in and he's talking with
Chloe.
Chloe, the girl who owns the house,
Yeah.
and and the Americans are there in the attic just trying to. I like that one scene when the kid Paul throws the baseball down to the German soldiers, and you
Mm-hmm.
can see the Americans are there just ready to fucking start
Oh
shooting
yeah,
their
ready to
asses
open
off.
fire.
Um, but it's like the tension in that scene is really effective, and it's like holy shit, because like they're so outnumbered to the point where the moment anybody fires, it's like they're dead,
Oh yeah,
like they're dead.
yeah. It's like if things go south, it will go south. Like any moment, just instantly bone and instantly dead.
And you have to
Boom.
remember too that this was before the widespread adoption of weapon suppressors.
Yeah.
So they have. So it's like there's that scene when Boyce is sneaking around the lab and stuff, and he has his gun out ready. And it's like if the moment he fires a single shot, everybody in the entire base is gonna know where he is.
I want to talk
So
more
it's
about
like
that
he
scene.
really okay.
Oh, sorry. If you want to finish, go ahead. I thought you were done. You can keep talking, but I want to talk afterwards.
Okay, well, so I was gonna say because it's like that's kind of where the tension comes from, at least for me, because it was like he has his M1 Garand in hand, but it's like he can't really use it as a gun. He has to, the only way he can really use it as a weapon in that scene is as a club, because if he actually uses it as a gun, every single person in the base is gonna know where he is, and he's gonna be fucked.
Yeah.
Anyways, what were you about to say?
I really love the scene where Boyce is sneaking into the lab because that scene is really tense and I actually like how he got in was via through dead bodies and it's just like oh crap what oh crap this could be good camouflage but heaven he has to get out otherwise he can't stay there because otherwise he'll get discovered or burned with the truck but thankfully he doesn't get burned with the truck he gets out and and you know that's where he discovers like oh what are they doing to these prisoners and he sees how one of them kind of becomes zombified but the one scene that sticks with me is when he enters the lab where the zombies are actually being created. Like when he walks in, the score it goes from orchestral to just like ambient Akira Yamaoka like sounds. Like it's you hear like some metal screeching, and when he goes in, he sees like that body bag moving. He's like, "What's in there?"
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
the horrors don't end there. Aside from the body bag and black
Hmm.
tar, you got that scene with like the woman decapitated, still talking with like her spine hanging out,
Yeah.
and then he
Yeah.
discovers
That was.
Rosenfeld.
Yeah. That. Yeah. That was really crazy.
And then compared to like yeah it got more grimier when it got to that point in the movie too, like where like the zombies are being created again. This is where the Resident Evil vibes come in. Underground lab, hello. um but I'm not trying to make an argument with the Resident Evil comparison, by the way, but this is just what this movie reminds me of. And yeah, yeah, like the underground lab with all the zombies and everything. There's even zombies in like cages as well. And when he discovers Rosenfeld too, and of course the serum as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I like how they introduced the serum in that scene with Chase, where he basically gets killed by the that German officer, that Nazi officer who they have held captive, and
mm-hmm.
so in order to save his life, you see, because Boyce brought the this syringe as basically back to the Americans as basically his squad as evidence of like it's like as like they're doing some crazy shit in the in that base or fortress, whatever it's called,
Mm-hmm.
and he basically uses it when he sees Chase basically die. He's like, I wonder what this does, and he injects Chase with it. He comes back to life, and he starts turning into this zombie type person. They
Ooh,
end up
yeah,
having to
and
kill him.
even his body gets deformed a bit, like where his like neck bones like pop up, and you hear that crack sound. Like
Yeah.
that shit was disturbing.
Oh yeah. And they even like look at the German officer guy. He's like, "You asked me what that serum was. That's what it was."
Yeah, and I feel like Chase completely lost his sanity as well, because like he starts attacking his other crewmates, like, "What did you do to me?" Like, and it's even more funny too, because like I mean, I feel like I feel because like later on in the film, freaking Wafen uses it on himself, and even though he's still alive, and so does the corporal, which I do have my own thoughts on the corporal later. Um, because it makes you wonder: does the serum work better on alive subjects than dead subjects? I mean, because even Chloe's aunt was alive but sick, according to Chloe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Not
Like
really
that.
sure.
That's just some food for thought. But it's like that could have been that could have. I'm surprised they didn't shut down the experiments once they realized, holy crap, it works better on alive people. But that was only on Doctor Wafen. So knowing science in general, regardless how fucked up it is, they probably had to test it out on more people.
Yeah.
Anyways, um, but yeah, like I think the horror it comes from more of us being body horror than like the zombies, because I'll be honest. I was kind of expecting more zombies in this movie. Not that it's not like a full on horde, but like again like mutants and everything. Because like the you can see like Chase he mutated a bit, and there was that one zombie chasing Chloe in the final scene where it's like his face was so boiled he can only see, like he can only make out like maybe one eye, and his like mouth was getting closed. Like he could still make like groans and everything. Which,
Yeah.
by the way, big ups to the makeup. Big ups to the makeup. Did you know it took 5 hours
Oh yeah.
a day to get that makeup on?
I did not know that, but that doesn't surprise me because the makeup looks very intense and in depth.
Oh
If that makes
yeah,
any sense.
yeah. It adds to the gore. Adds to the gore factor of this movie. And
Again,
also
again, again, again. As I've said before, for this kind of movie, practical effects is always better.
they actually did do a lot of practical effects instead of CGI, so they can capture a more genuine reaction out of the actors.
Exactly, exactly. That's part of the reason why practical effects is always better, in my opinion.
Yeah, like there was like a combination of traditional puppet and animatronics, I think, in one scene. I don't know if it was like where Wafen was mutating or when Chase like bones just popped up or whatever.
Yeah,
Still,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't get me wrong, viewers. I'm not against CGI entirely. I just think there's a place for CGI. Like a good place for
definitely.
CGI is at the beginning when you need to sell the illusion of this big um this big sort of thing happening with all the planes at the beginning. Like that stuff you probably couldn't do practically, at least not in any sort of way where it would be economical.
Oh yeah,
But but that's where I think CGI makes a perfect amount of perfect sense. Whereas like with blood effects and stuff, like that shit should be practical.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree. I mean, I think practical effects not only can look more realistic, but are definitely more believable and capture genuine reaction out of the actors as well. And And again, there is a place for CGI. In fact, I can think of a ton of good examples of CGI right now, but I think that'll be for later when we discuss other movies on the podcast, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Anyways,
I will say though, about to get back to the, I kind of just mentioned the opening scene a little bit. The
mhm.
one little complaint I have with the opening sequence is that scene when Boyce is falling out of his with his parachute and everything. Did you notice that basically that whole sequence is shot at such a close up,
Yeah.
and then once he draws the parachute, it goes to a wide shot. Did that whole first part of that, did him falling really need to be entirely in close up? Like I'm not sure I really like that.
I don't know. I don't know. Um did the beginning scene where he's for Boyce is falling, did it look like a one-shot scene or no?
I think it was a one shot scene.
Oh, dang, that's impressive. I like that even more. And
Yeah,
also,
yeah. I'm just not entirely fond of the angle they chose. That's all.
that's fair. Also, I don't know if I'm just. I don't know if I'm reaching for stuff right now, but is it me or is like the scene where Boyce almost suffocates in the parachute but cuts himself free kind of eerily similar to when he like cuts open the body bag in the zombie lab?
It is, yeah, a little bit.
All right, I wasn't sure if that was me or I was just going crazy, but that is a relief that I'm not going crazy. Well, I mean, I am a little crazy, but I am not. I haven't driven down further down the spiral. But anyways, and to get back on topic, let's talk characters. I thought this is a really well-rounded cast of characters for both our heroes and our villains.
I mostly agree. The character archetypes are a bit, they are very simple for the most part. You
Yeah,
don't really get outside of Boyce and Chloe, you don't really get to learn a lot about the characters, but I feel like it's what you need to know at the same
exactly.
time. Like this isn't a particularly character driven movie for the most part.
Yeah,
Um and so you don't need to know a ton about the characters, but the characters are, some of them I think are fairly one note, but
admittedly, that's
they're
true.
fine with being one note. Yeah, but
I
they
think the
don't need to
characters that
be
stand out the most to
more.
me are Boyce, Chloe, the Corporal, Tibbet, uh, Chase. I thought was an absolute bro. Respect to my homie Chase, and rest in peace, by the way, Chase. And I know Doctor Wave is just a one note character, but you know he kind of sold you on the evil mad scientist thing, you know, and you know a character doesn't have to be original or completely relatable or in depth. It has to be entertaining to watch and understandable. Not that I'm not saying sympathize the villain. I'm just saying this is why I like the characters of Boyce and the Corporal and Chloe. You know, and even
Exactly,
T-
yeah.
Tibbet was a little obnoxious, but a little obnoxious though. He kind of reminded me. Okay, Drew, you may not get this, but I think our viewers will get this. He reminded me of Corcus from Berserk, just this really cocky, arrogant little guy who thought his shit don't stink, and he wasn't like a full-on egotistical. Like, I mean, he was egotistical in the playing yard, saying, "Oh, I could just easily one-shot kill Hitler with this sniper," or he was kind of a jerk. But when things got serious, he actually locked in. He freaking locked in.
Yep. Again, even though, as one notice some of the characters are, they all acted like people
Exactly.
in a situation, not a fucking, not as like what's the expression? They acted more as people, not like superheroes, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
how else to say it, but
They acted like human beings, real human beings, and somewhat real heroes because they were soldiers.
real human beings, not people who are written to be human beings, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
real human beings and a real hero. Yes, I referenced Drive again, baby. You thought the Drive podcast is the end of that? No, I had to get that in there. But anyways, yeah, they do feel like genuine people. They with a lot of human emotions and human and humanity as well. Like I know Tibbet at the end of the movie, he lines up to Paul, the little boy, Chloe's little brother, and Boyce, he was kind of the most well rounded of the entire crew, if I'm being honest. I mean, he
Well, yeah,
also had
he's
a
the main
character arc.
character.
Like he was hesitant and constantly kind of not was well liked by his peers, but by the end of the movie, he's just feeling confident. Like I do think it's strange how like he witnessed horrors beyond his comprehension. It's just like, all right, boys, let's go win the war.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, once you've seen all that stuff, like, what can you, like, what can get to you at that point?
that's fair.
Once you've seen
Fun.
all that stuff. And I also love how at the end of the movie, when Boyce's superior officer tells him, he's like, hey, asks him, hey, if you found anything else there, like, you would tell us. Was there anything like crazy down there? We've been hearing stuff about experiments and labs and all this stuff. It's like, would you tell us about this stuff? And he's like, yeah, but there's nothing down there. And I like how, because Corporal Ford tells him just before Boyce runs off, he's like, neither side can have this technology.
Oh yeah.
It's too evil. It's just too immoral. It's too out of this world. It's like neither side can have this. This shit needs to be buried down here with me. And I like that it's like at the end of the movie, Boyce didn't even tell his superior officer everything
Yeah.
what they found, because damn well once the Allies were like, hey, we found out that there's something behind there, damn well that they're gonna try to find that shit and try to see if how they can harness that stuff and use it for their own benefit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But good shout out to Boyce for keeping his word to the corporal. And I want to talk about the corporal real quickly. So I liked how he kind of served as the acting leader to our band of heroes. Like, I mean, he kind of took charge. He kind of kept everyone's head cool. Even if though everyone kind of started doing their own thing at the end, like he served as a great leader. And also, I wrote this down because I knew I'd forget it, but the actor who plays him, shout out to Mr. Wyatt Russell. He did a great job, but he almost reminded me a little bit of Nicolas Cage for some reason. And also his IMDb profile page, it looks like a combination of Chad Kroger and Brad Pitt. Whether that's an insult or a compliment, I'll leave it to you. I personally think it's a compliment, but he did remind me of it. I genuinely was like, wait, is that guy Nick Cage? Like, for some reason, he reminded me of Nicolas Cage.
I don't know where you're getting the Nicolas Cage thing from, but okay. I don't know. To me, he didn't look anything like Nicolas Cage,
I
but
know he
that's
sounded
me.
like Nick Cage. I mean, he sounded like Nick Cage.
No.
Yeah, we should definitely do a Nick Cage movie one day. But anyways,
Hmm.
but that's all I really had to say about the corporal. Like the dude, he served his purpose. He did everything he could for his team, and also shout out to the team leader at the beginning. I forgot his military rank officer and I forgot his name, but like where he basically got gunned down by the Germans. He went down mocking them, be like, and y'all got a cigarette. Like he stood tall, kind of thinking he was screwed, but he kind of decided to go out while he can. Even the Germans were mocking him, you know.
Mhm.
And again, that scene
Yeah.
as well, another example of Corporal taking a lead. Like he had to stop the boys from dying a pointless death. It's like he may be
Yeah.
dead, but you ain't. And like he kept
Hmm.
he kept the crew intact.
Yeah. To me, Corporal Ford represents the leader that puts the mission above everything else.
Mm-hmm.
You often see this dynamic in a lot of war movies where it's like you'll have the commanding officer who puts the mission above everything else, and then there's the
Mm-hmm.
other person who's more interested in saving and keeping and protecting the lives of the squad. And there's always that sort of clash between the two characters, between the two
Mm-hmm.
personalities. But yeah, I thought that sort of dynamic between both Boyce and Corporal Ford was really
Mm-hmm.
really fun to watch, and they were definitely my favorite characters along with Chloe.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, Boyce, Corporal, and Chloe were pretty cool. Oh, fun fact: did you know this movie was meant to be a lot more darker and emphasize the horror element, but they changed it?
That doesn't shock me.
Yeah. Do you think this movie would have benefited from being a lot more darker and leaning more into the horror? Or do you think it's fine as it is?
Maybe. Maybe they could have definitely done something darker with this. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, anytime you're dealing with Nazis and Nazi experiments and all that stuff, it's pretty dark as it is.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Like, I think I would have liked to see
you know,
maybe. If you didn't have to lean too much into horror, but you could also make more action horror, especially you got that R rating for a reason. Like, I guess probably due to budget reasons, they probably wanted maybe more zombies and mutants, but and more gore action scenes. But budget reasons happen. But for what it's worth, I think I definitely would have loved to lean more into the horror element of everything. But I guess budget reasons prevented them. You know.
yeah. What did you think of the action scenes, by the way?
I thought they were pretty cool. I liked the final battle where they're trying to keep the entrance. They're trying to distract all the Nazis at the entrance with Rosenfield was his name. Yeah, Rosenfield and and Tibbet kind of proving their skills in combat with Rosenfield on the gun and
Mhm.
freaking Tibbet on the sniper. Like, and then they take them all out. They freaking like tie a Nazi up to a motorcycle with a bomb and freaking shit explodes. And then of course, at the entrance they're still fighting, and then they go back to the town where Chloe also joins in the fight as well, and the little kid runs away. Like Tibbet, like I thought Tibbet would freaking die. I'm not gonna lie. I thought Tibbet would freaking die, but luckily he lives, even if he still lives to be a little snarky little slime another day. But like, the dude
Yeah.
went down fighting, proving his skills and his heroics of saving the kid. Which, by the way, which we mentioned before, his relationship with the kid does kind of grow a bit. Like, yeah, Tibbet kind of felt more. Tibbet kind of went back to being like a more of a comedic relief guy at the end, but he still proved himself that yeah, he is capable. He can lock in when he needs to, and
Yeah.
and what was it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the
So,
action scenes.
uh, I,
I love the fight between freaking Corporal and zombified Corporal and Wafen.
oh yeah, that was really cool. I loved that. I really liked everything with that scene between Corporal Ford and what did you say his name was? The
Wafen.
German dude?
Wafen.
Wayfin, yeah.
If you
I
forget
don't know
his
why I
name,
keep forgetting his name.
just call him Nazi Albert Wesker from Resident Evil.
All right, it's because again, not only because like the makeup is really good for both of them, but it's like, damn, that action scene gets between the both of them. It's like it feels like two super soldiers just fist fighting each other.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And by the way, this is just maybe the heavy metal person in me talking, but I really think that the Wafins, whatever fucking whatever his name is, his makeup looked almost exactly like the cover artwork of the new Motionless in White album that's coming out in a few weeks.
Mm. Yeah.
But anyways, um, yeah, that scene is really good. To kind of go back to the beginning of the last scene, I really love that sequence when that one Nazi dude on the motorcycle is chasing after Chloe, and like he
Mm.
gets her to the ground and everything, and he thinks he's got her and blah blah blah, and then she starts smiling, and the guy's like, "What?" And then all the Americans just put up right behind him, put a gun to his head, and
Mm.
he's like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, and then
yeah. I mean, I know.
I also, because like, also too, I find it really funny that when they tie him up to the motorcycle with a grenade in his mouth,
Oh, that's
and
the
the
one I
guy
think I was
pulls
talking
the
about.
yeah, and the guy pulls the duct tape off his mouth that has the pin of the grenade on it, and I find it so funny. Once they realize that there's a grenade in his mouth, not a single German tries to even attempts to try to get the grenade out of the guy's mouth. They
They're
all
just
just
like,
duck for cover and just leave their guy for dead.
it's like, nah, fam, nah, fam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like they see that there's a grenade in his mouth, and then all of a sudden, every fucking German soldier in the area is like, every person for themselves.
Mhm.
Yeah, I found that I thought that was funny.
Yeah, that was funny. It's like you're on your own. It's like, well, that's the opposite of the American thing, where it's like no man gets left behind. You know?
Hmm.
Oh boy. Oh. Anyways, yeah. Again, I think the final action shot was like really where the action came in on everything, and I think it tied together nicely. And honestly, the action added more of a lightness to this movie. Like it didn't go too dark, and in a way, like there's like two posters for this movie. There's like the one with like the blood and just the title Overlord, and there's one where it has like the let me see, is it like the shape of a phoenix, or am I hallucinating? One second. I gotta get myself a reality check real quick. All
Yeah,
right.
there's a handful of posters for this movie.
Oh yeah, but basically, yeah, it's the one where it's like a fire and like Wafin's like in the center, but our heroes are above. It's just like
Hmm.
that kind of sells like the actiony part of Overlord. It's like they're fighting something beyond their comprehension, whether it's Nazis or zombies. Nazi
Yeah,
zombies.
the poster I like for the movie is the one that's on the 4K Blu-ray release, where it's a white background, and it has like blood stains over the title Overlord. But
Mm-hmm.
if you look closely, the blood stains are parachutes.
Oh yeah, I missed
If you
that.
look
I
closely.
freaking missed that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
And
that's also the poster I'm using for the YouTube thumbnail for this episode, by the way.
all right,
Um,
sounds cool.
but yeah,
Yeah, this
but
movie
yeah.
has quite a bit of posters actually. There's even like there's like those there's probably like a limited one where it's like a minimalist where it's like a forest shaped like a skull and the teeth are the soldiers. And then there's one where
Mhm.
it's like a red and black version of Dr. Wafin's face, like before when he like deforms and takes the serum.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, like I said, the body horror is where like the movie's horror comes in. You know.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And I
Absolutely.
wish, sadly, this movie bombed at the box office. It didn't make all of its money back, and from what I heard, it wasn't advertised. I mean, it was still critically acclaimed. Don't get me wrong. Let me check the box office returns real quick. Oh, and by the way, my phone's no longer loading anymore, and lost my train of thought. Oh right, I know. I was looking at the box office. I was looking at the box office numbers. So it made $41.7 million. Now that's still okay, but like a movie needs to make double its budget back, unfortunately, which is a shame because Overlord is freaking awesome, and a lot of people are kind of putting up there in one of their. A lot of people do put up there in like their favorite zombie movies. Now,
Yeah, yeah.
granted,
So it had a budget of $38 million, and then it made 41.7 million dollars. Man, I'm disappointed in the movie going audience, man. I will say though, because I do remember when this movie came out, and I wanted to see this movie in theaters when it came out, but I didn't have my driver's license at the time, and there was no movie theaters within like a walking distance of me, and
mm-hmm.
nobody else in my family wanted to go see this movie, or nobody else,
Mm,
no friends of mine wanted to see this movie.
mm.
So yeah,
I say give it
unfortunately,
some time, and it'll become a cult classic. That's my
I think
two
it's all.
cents.
It might have already become a bit of a cult classic because I see a lot of like, whenever I hear people talk about this movie, people are like, "Oh wow, that movie is so good. I wish it did better at the box office."
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm just glad that I got this 4K Blu-ray of it for $10 at Barnes& and Noble a few weeks ago. So
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Reminds me, I found some
yeah,
Blu-rays I wanted, but they.
it's probably I wouldn't be surprised if Overlord becomes one of those movies where it's like it didn't do too well on in like movie theaters, but it maybe found its audience on home video or
Streaming.
I guess in these days streaming. Yeah.
Yeah. I can see it. I mean, I don't know if we'd ever discussed our physical. Did we ever release our physical media episode or no? Or do we might need to remake that?
We might need to make another one.
I'll be down for that. I'll be down for that. But anyways,
Same here.
but yeah, But yeah, Overlord. This I hope it does find its footing with its audience as well. With a new audience on home video because this movie is freaking awesome. And imagine if they made a sequel to this movie, Drew. Imagine if they made a sequel. Like either there's a second wave of Nazi zombies, or maybe it does, or they can switch up the time periods for now instead do Russian Cold War zombies.
Hmm.
There's so many things you can take this concept. I mean, again, it's not an original concept, but the way they executed it was pretty cool. You know,
Yeah, and I think there, if you want a sequel to this movie, I've got a great idea.
let's hear it.
Um, play the Call of Duty Nazi Zombies game mode,
Nice, yeah. Or the Elite Sniper Nazi Zombies games.
or that
Elite
too,
Sniper
or that
Zombies
too.
too. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Hell, in fact, funny story, people. When this movie first came out, the buzz that I heard about it was like, yeah, it's basically COD Zombies, the movie, and I'm just like, that immediately got my attention because like I grew up playing the Call of Duty Zombies mode on
Yeah.
the first Black Ops and World at War and all that stuff, and I'm just like, COD Nazi Zombies, the movie, god damn it! And then I
You
saw
had
it
my
eventually when it came
curiosity,
to
but
home
now you have
video.
my attention.
Yeah, yeah,
Sorry, I
and
was
then
quoting
I saw
Django.
it when it came out on I saw it when it came out on home video, and I was like, yeah, it's a bit more like Wolfenstein than COD Zombies, but it's still great.
Yeah. Yeah, like again, it's. I feel like movies like this show like just because the concept's unoriginal doesn't mean you can execute it greatly. Like there's still that's a great execution. I mean, look at the backrooms. Like that was just a simple random internet post, but someone made a story out of it, a good story from what I haven't seen it, but I hear it's good.
I mean, for an even less original concept, how about Obsession? It's like that's the most basic fucking concept for a horror movie possible, but Curry Barker and crew took it really far. Hell,
I
a
still I
lot
still
of
have to
like
see
the
Obsession.
a lot of a lot of the best movies of all time, a lot of them are very simple premises when you really
Mm-hmm.
get down to it. It's
Yeah,
just about the execution. I think,
exactly.
and this we're getting into a bit of a different topic, but it's like I think a lot of aspiring filmmakers and writers and all that stuff, they get really hung up on, oh, I need to come up with like the most original idea possible. You
Yeah.
don't need to do that. You just need an idea that
Mm-hmm.
you just need an idea that you can take and just do whatever you can with it. It's all
Yeah.
about the execution of the idea rather than the idea itself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And Overlord is a really good example. It's like I wouldn't be surprised if the two guys who wrote this script fucking wrote it after playing a game of COD Zombies or Wolfenstein or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I agree. And like I said, again, it's not just like COD Zombies or Wolfenstein. Like I mentioned before, Resident Evil as well.
Yeah.
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 Oh, Drew? I mentioned a little briefly about the score, but I'm just gonna go anyways. It's like I mentioned, like I really love the song that plays with freaking when Boyce enters the freaking lab and like the soundtrack goes like kind of goes into a little bit of a Kiriyama territory where it becomes a full on horror movie. Like yeah, he's sneaking around, but he's in like a very disgusting and grimy place. But the rest of the score is pretty interesting. It's like a mixture of orchestral and like you occasionally have like the more suspenseful, tense stuff that keeps you on your toes. What are your thoughts on the score?
Okay. So to get back to the opening scene again, do you know what the score in that scene kind of reminded me of? With its sort of like techno slow feel.
Well, which one? The
The
one I
opening
mentioned where
scene,
voice.
the op-
Oh, sorry, the opening scene. My bad. Continue.
yeah, the score of it kind of reminded me of the score for The Thing.
I can see that.
It's a bit odd. It's a bit odd, but but yeah, I like this. Good, it's a good variety of like electronic music and orchestra and all that stuff. My one complaint I have with the score though is I was not a fan of the song they chose for the ending credits.
Oh yeah, the rap song. That was so weird. That was so freaking weird.
That is so out of left field. And I'm not just saying that because like viewers, I don't like rap music, but it's like apart putting that aside, it felt really out of left field. I'm like, okay. We're
Yeah.
gonna end with a rock song. Which here's another thing I wanted to talk about. The ending credits themselves, as well as the opening title card, I love both of them because they're
Oh
both
yeah.
very reminiscent of like 1940s and 50s B movies, which is kind of what this movie is to a degree.
I
And
can
it's
see that.
like I really love that sort of throwback, sort of a title style.
Hmm.
Um, but it's like, man, the the ending rap song is just like what? It's just one of those things that it's just
Yeah.
like I said, it comes out of left
Uh,
field, and then it's like that's
well,
the note you're gonna end the movie on. Okay.
Django. Wait. What came out? What came out first, this or Django Unchained? Because Django Unchained, I think, ended on a rap song, a rap song that was like a remix of like some jazz and a bit of
Django
western.
Unchained came out. Django Unchained came out, I believe, in 2012. This was like
Uh,
well before,
so
well before
I guess they
Overlord.
were trying to do what Django Unchained did then with a rap
And
song.
it's, and it's not as good. I would imagine. Viewers, I have not seen Django Unchained, so
I just heard the
no.
credits song, and I know
Mm.
Video Game Donkey made his own remix where he just added lyrics over it, which he unfortunately unlisted the video, which is a shame. Petters on the low goes absolutely hard, but
Yeah, yeah. I'll be honest. Like, I'm not super well versed in Quentin Tarantino's filmography, so I know you can all roast me in the comments, viewers. I don't care. That's fine. But I'm not
I mean,
crazy about Tarantino, to be honest.
I've seen almost every Tarantino film except My Best Friend's Birthday, and again, I saw Django Unchained with bits and pieces, and I only heard the soundtrack. Viewers don't. Viewers, okay, listen. I saw Reservoir Dogs. I saw Pulp Fiction. I saw freaking Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. I saw Jackie Brown. I saw freaking Hateful Eight in the theater. I saw freaking Once Upon a Time in the theater. Don't you dare call me a fake fan, or my feelings will get hurt. You don't want to hurt my feelings. I'm a shy and sensitive boy.
uh, Anyways, so so is there anything else you want to add on about Overlord?
um, Not really. Overlord is like. Do you think Overlord could be a good gateway horror film, or is it a little too gory to be a gateway horror film? Because
Might
it
be
can
a
feel more
tad.
actiony at times. It feels more actiony at times.
It might be a tad too gory, but I think it'll be a good entryway into horror if you're a fan of the video games the three video games we've been talking about: COD
Hmm.
Zombies, Wolfenstein, Resident Evil. If you're a fan of literally either of those three games, Overlord is a good gateway entry point into horror
Yeah.
movies. If you're not a fan of either of those of any of those games, I would put this one off a little bit, but
Yeah.
you know. But I think this is but if you're a fan of any of those games, which to be fair, I would imagine most people watching this, listening to this podcast, are fans of at least one of those games, especially
Yeah.
COD Zombies, given the fact that it's like one of the biggest games ever.
Hmm.
But but if you're not a fan of those games, I would definitely recommend putting this off for at least a little bit. But if you are a fan of those games, give this movie a watch.
I think if you're a fan of war, I think if you're a fan of action movies like John Wick or Atomic Blonde, or yeah, or freaking what's sorry, there was a movie I was thinking about like maybe to an extent Bullet Train, or if you're one of those guilty pleasure people like me, the Death Race remake. I think this is a great horror movie to get into as a gateway because it does feel more actiony at times, but I'm assuming if you watch John Wick or Atomic Blonde, you can handle some gore, or for heck, you know. I mean, granted, you'll see
Yeah.
more mutated body horror gore, but I mean, hey, I think it's a great gateway film. I mean, especially the Resident Evil movies, they get a little batshit insane as it continues. But this movie, I think, had more consistency and was not based on a video game and did. But that's besides the case. I think this could be a great a good gateway horror movie under the right conditions. Under the right conditions.
Yeah, so to kind of add on to my little spiel I just gave, Overlord's actually one of the few horror movies I watched before I got into horror, if that tells
Interesting.
you guys anything. So,
Interesting. Cool.
because it's like before I got into horror, I would watch like zombie movies. Like I saw 28 Days Later before I got into horror. I saw Night of the Living Dead before I got into horror. So
Hmm.
take that
I,
for what you will.
I think I saw World War Z before I got into horror. Anyways, I think that's all I gotta say about Overlord. Overlord, I think, is a really cool movie. I kind of went in expecting a little more action horror, but I still was entertained nonetheless. And it's also just a really cool alternate history movie too. And yeah, I think I'd recommend this.
I
How
don't
about
know.
you?
I don't know if I would. I mean, yeah, it is alternate history, but it's like it's not a completely different timeline if that makes
Oh
sense.
yeah,
You still see things that actually happened, like the D-Day invasion and
yeah.
like the uniforms and everything are accurate. The settings are accurate, are historically accurate.
Mm-hmm.
I will say though, on the topic of like historical accuracy, I mean, this isn't a movie that's about historical accuracy
No, it's
necessarily.
not.
Um, yeah, but I do remember there was a little bit of complaining in some sections of the internet when this movie came out. There people were
Really?
mad that a black person was the lead in this movie.
I do not remember this at all.
There were some people that were mad because so this movie takes place in 1944. The U.S.
Yeah.
Army was still segregated back then.
Oh, that makes sense.
So, so for me, I don't give a shit because this is not a movie that's trying to be historically accurate. This is more historical fiction. This
Yeah,
is
historical
historical
fiction.
fiction.
I feel
So
like the
it's like
moment
I'm
you
totally
start
fine with
throwing,
it.
I feel like the moment you start throwing zombies like into the mix, like you can. I feel like you can have a little fun if you're gonna do historical fiction. You know?
Yeah, this is historical fiction in the same way that that fucking Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer movie is historical
Oh
fiction.
yeah, that movie.
So
Yeah.
I know I'm sure most people were like, "Holy shit, I haven't heard of that movie in a while."
And
But
by the way, big. This is gonna be the most. No one's gonna get this reference. I want to give a big shout out to that one Roblox user who thought Abraham Lincoln was a real vampire hunter. I hope you're going places, man.
But yeah, this is
Yeah.
to get back to my point. This is historical fiction, so it's like you can get away with a little bit of historical inaccuracy. And I think the guy who plays Joyce does an awesome job. Same thing with the guy who plays that sergeant at the beginning, who's also black.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. The acting was also good too. I forgot to mention that, but I guess are we over, Lord? This has been the Movie Wars podcast. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. This is a really fun episode. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below what you thought of this movie, what you thought of this episode, what movies you would like to see us cover. Follow the socials on Blue Sky and Twitter. Also, be sure to follow us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, and Amazon Music. And some others I probably missed too. Thank you all so much for listening. Have a good night, day, afternoon, and always use your knife on the first round.